Hello, literature lovers. Today I want to talk about Robert Burns, born in 1759, died in 1796, and also known another name was Rabbie Burns. He is called the National Bard, or we can say Bard of Ayrshire. He was very famous with another name called the Plum Poet. So these were the names, and he was also regarded as the national poet of Scotland, and this title was celebrated worldwide. These he was very special because of his Scot language and that dialect which he used, and that is the reason why he was famous. The talking about his genre or the literary movement he was most influenced with was Romanticism, and so he was very is regarded as the pioneer of Romantic movement, and they are discussing few important things. This whole National Heritage Park name on him, so you can see how great he was and so famous. Pictures are quite expressive. He was good at the folk songs of Scotland also, so you can see how great. And one of my personal favorite is A Red Red Rose. So I'm sure you must have some personal favorite of his work, and you will like it in that context. Here's the Red Red Rose, and it was really here we can see how it is described so clearly, and he was having that style. Talking about his style, which was quite filled with spontaneity and directness, sincerity, and the range from the tender intensity of the lyrics and that humor is quite flowing, and he had great knowledge of the classicals and that biblical form, and we can really talk about it and how he used the English language and that skill of in writing not only in Scott language but also in that Scottish English dialect that marks his peculiarity. And it also talks about the French Revolutionary period and influenced by it. So these were the styles, and since that accent is special, and especially that Scottish cultural identity and that poverty and that beneficial aspects of that popularity being socializing things, and we all know that how Scotland is famous for its folk song and that peculiar culture. We can feel that bagpiper song and the music that revolves around it. It really has its own mark, and that is the reason and why he was so famous, and that peculiar quality is there in his work. He was very famous not only Scotland but all over the world. In fact, his birthday is celebrated as the Robert Burns Day. So he was also famous in Canada, and many other universities refer his works and celebrated in that context. And here we are discussing that poetry portion of his. I'm sure you must have got the overall idea how, in fact, he was in January 1864. Abraham Lincoln was invited to attend the Robert Burns Day, which was celebrated in America. So you can see how peculiar and that stature he, and also the Nobel Prize winner Bob Dylan was selected a song by Robert Burns only, that is The Red Red Rose. Many authors proclaimed his work, including J.D. Salinger uh, in his novel The Catcher in the Rye. So you can feel how he was celebrated throughout the world, and this is the nature of Scotland and the great place, and you can see how it is, I'm sure. And talking about Robert Burns, he is also called People's Poet of Russia. So we can see how he was so much praised in Russia also, and they were great admirer of his works. And there are different honors which he was regarded as, and there's also a Robert Burns Club, and which is founded, and they cherish his poetry and talk about his love and the call being the Scotland idol of Scotland, and how his poetry symbolizes Scotland and enriches the culture of Scotland. All of it comes in light. Thank you being part of it. Thanks.